Okay, guys, so we are going to do a quick rundown on air masses. So first we're going to go over the types of air masses. Types of air masses, we've got 4 of them. We've got maritime polar, which is cool, moist air. Maritime, water, so moist. And then polar, think cool, cold. And then we move on to continental polar. Continental we talked about is land. So that is continental, land, polar, cold. So in a continental polar area, you're going to have cold, dry air masses. You will also have a continental, continental, land, tropical, warm, tropics, tropical, warm. So that area is going to be hot and dry. I think deserts. We've got maritime tropical. Maritime tropical is going to be maritime, which is water, and then tropical, warm. So it'll be warm and moist. Think Florida, okay? The coast, the East Coast area. When you're thinking maritime polar, you're thinking somewhere up near the coast, on like the coast of Canada or Greenland, where it's icy and chilly, but there's also bodies of water. Continental polar is just going to be cold on the land. Okay, so Canada or Michigan, Minnesota, Wyoming, places that are cold and landlocked. So Michigan could actually be a little bit maritime polar also, because there is a lake very close to it. All right, so then we've got, sorry, I got to move my thing here. The types of fronts, there's 4 fronts. We have a warm front. We have a cold front, an occluded front, and a stationary front. When we're thinking about cold fronts, we're thinking about the air. Cold air is denser. It's heavier. So if you've got a cold front coming in and you've got your warm front here, then your warm front's going to go up above and your cold front's going to stay right down here. It's going to take over because it's denser, it's heavier, it takes over. A warm front is whenever the warm air comes through, and even though it's going up, it's pushing up and away the cold. So things will become warmer. An occluded front is when you've got 2 forces of cold air amidst a little piece of just an air mass that's warm. So you've got your warm in the middle and your 2 colds. Your colds come together and they can mix. They can mix because they are of the same characteristics. They're mixing, so you've got, so right here is warm, a warm air mass, cold air masses coming together. They mix and they're pushing up that warm air. So then the cold, the occluded front is going to bring coldness. And then you got your stationary fronts. You got cold and warm, and they come together. And neither of them are going to move. So they stay right there together. That is why it's a stationary front. Now, whenever you have a stationary front, the warm air and the cool air meet. So right here, they're meeting. Now, you got to think about that water vapor. That water vapor, if you remember, water vapor stays in hot areas. So heat holds water vapor. So if you've got your heat, if you got your 2 that come together, your 2 air masses that come together, and say this one's the hot one, it's full of all of the water vapor. Well, the heat is going to rise, and then so you've got all the water vapor came up higher into the atmosphere. It comes up higher into the atmosphere, and what's it going to do whenever it hits those clouds? It's going to hit the clouds, and it's going to condense. As it condenses, it forms clouds of their own, and then it gets heavier, and it begins to rain. All right. Then we've got cyclones and anticyclones. Cyclones are in areas of low pressure, and anticyclones are in areas of high pressure. Cyclones are not good, bad weather. thunderstorms, hurricanes, tornadoes. It's when the air pressure around the higher air pressure comes inward. Okay, it's all coming in. High pressure is coming to the low pressure area and going in like this. If it's going in like this, it's going to start to spin. It's spinning in a counterclockwise direction. Okay, an anticyclone is basically almost every day. It's a very nice day outside. An anticyclone are areas of high pressure that are going outward to areas of lower pressure. Okay? All right, I hope that helps.